Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wild Chats, your home for everything animals. I am Ryan. That over there is Maria. And guys, today we are going to have a little bit of fun. The theme of the video is CPR, but it's going to be a little bit of human kindness, a little bit of rescues, a little bit of
Ooh,
CPR. We get kind of a mixed bag of fun stuff to do. Mar, what's your background as far as or knowledge base on like animal CPR?
my knowledge based on animal CPR.
Yes. Do you
Okay,
have a knowledge base on animal CPR?
a little bit, yes. In fact, when I adopted my cats, I wanted to take a CPR class because you just never know if one of anything gets lodged into their throats. How do you help the animal to survive? So I did take a little bit of some classes or some reading and things like that, but I wouldn't call myself like an expert CPR. But if
No.
something happens, I will be able to figure out more or less what to do.
Okay. One of the key things is I was kind of looking at a little bit of research after I'd found the videos and stuff that I thought everybody would enjoy. Today, we're not going to have anything heavy, guys. So if it does look like it's going to be heavy, I mean, I'm not going to give it away. But if you know this show, we don't show things that are like dark. So it's going to be a little bit like the Titanic. You kind of know how it's probably going to end up, but it's still fun to watch. And I think that everyone's going to enjoy the videos. But one of the interesting
The
things I found,
Titanic is fun to watch.
no, just
Okay,
you know it's
Pompey,
coming. It's going to hit the iceberg. I mean, you know it's coming, yet they still made a good movie out of it. That is good writing. You
you're
can make,
right.
yes, exactly.
Okay,
Um,
Pompey, that's what I'm gonna call you now.
really? Seriously?
Pompey.
No, I need guys. Give me a cooler nickname than Pompeii, please. Somebody, people in the comments, come up with almost anything better than Pompeii. Um, I mean, I am a quarter Italian, but I almost slightly find that offensive. I mean, that was like a failure of a city that was too indulged into itself, and now I'm
The
Pompeii.
volcano, the volcano.
How did this happen? I'm not sure. Um, one of the things that I found interesting though was especially for dogs, if you do CPR, you really kind of need to learn how to do CPR specifically for your dog. Because there's barrel chested dogs and skinny dogs, and where you're doing your compressions and stuff actually makes a really big difference. How hard and the locations, depending on the chest of your dog. So these videos are not meant to teach anybody how to do CPR, any of that stuff. I do encourage everybody, if it's something you're interested in, there is very much a breed specific or build specific way you're supposed to do CPR for
Mhm.
animals. Please go look that up. But so today we are going to start off
PSA,
again.
PSA, PSA.
That was a PSA. Man, I'm just going to have to create. We just use it too often. I'm going to have to create some kind of like thing that we could add into the show that just says like, I'll do a stamp or something. Like a
PSA.
stamp that flies in. It's like PSA, and then pulls out. I'll figure something out. We're gonna get an informational. If you guys like them, if you don't, just kind of in the comments be like, no more PSAs. We don't care about your information. It's
I've
absolutely
been
horrible.
behaving. You
The
notice
less
in the
we talk, the
past,
better the show is. Just show video. Whatever you guys want to say, just in the comments.
in the past couple of videos, I have not said the word PSA at all, by the way.
No, you haven't. I mean, I started it off at the beginning of this podcast, and then you didn't know what it was, and then it became a running joke, and then we laid off of it. So, you know, but I like to know what the people think, because if you guys don't tell us, we don't know. You guys wanted animal fact videos so you could learn a lot about animals, so we made animal fact videos. The more you tell us, the more you get back. All right.
Yes.
Um,
PSA done.
we're interactive, but not exactly interactive. But hey, um, but yeah, this was basically a lot of times when we start the podcast, guys, I like to start with the videos that kind of inspired the concept of the video. So I'll see something that touches me or makes me laugh or whatever it might be. And then it's kind of like, well, what is that? What's the heart of what that video is? And then I kind of go find more of it. And then that's how we end up sometimes with weird topics like chariots or CPR or some other of the fun ones we've done in the past that aren't just like baby animal fails. So this was kind of one of the first clips that I came across, and I was like, wow, that's, and there's so many aspects of it because the dog is not looking good at all.
No,
And
that dog is not
like a
looking good at all.
it almost doesn't care. Um, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
You see how he lifted the arm.
And this is
and
a good
touching.
example. He's using different CPR angles, and he has gloves, and he's feeling for the sternum. So this guy, I think, has done this before.
You can tell he has. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Like I said, guys, we're not gonna be dark in this episode. It's
no. I cannot stand dark. If you know anything about me, I'm super PG.
yes. But again, the parts of the video that obviously I found the whole video inspiring, but if
The
you
whole
see
video.
even if the dog's on its side and he tries, then he lifts his leg and he tries, and then he feels for the sternum bone. So you can kind of see even this guy that clearly knows what he's doing is still having to kind of experiment a little bit because every
I
dog's
wonder
bone.
what he was doing. Like when you notice how he was like petting the leg. Like I would love to know from people who have done this. Why did he like touch the legs the way he did? Like maybe he was trying to feel movement, like trying to see if the animal was reacting just by touching its paw.
I don't
Like he
know.
did something like around here. You see that? How he touches the leg?
Yeah,
Oh, did you see how he did that? He almost
yeah.
measured.
I don't know if it was a positioning thing or because humans,
I
you
don't
can
know.
turn your torso a little bit and it does change the angle as far as trying to like get into the internal organs if you're trying to go through the rib cage. So it could have been that.
I don't know, but you can tell he was almost measuring. Like there was a moment where he did a quick measure. Like honestly, amazing.
Yes.
And the guy was calm but yet effective.
And
And
he's
you
got
also have to be
rubber
careful
gloves.
because even with children, you can't just go gun ho crazy doing
Yeah.
CPR. And there was actually a case of a guy who got sued by a woman because he broke her one of her ribs.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
And the
it's
judge was like, hello, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So no.
yeah, exactly. You don't karma has a funny way of coming around. So I have a there's not too many like animal facts for CPR out there. So I grabbed some interesting human CPR facts to share with people. But that was one of the stories that I had found. So in New York, a woman saved this little boy's life by doing CPR after he'd gotten hit in the chest with a baseball bat. Don't ask me how he got hit in the chest. I don't know that I want the rest of that story, sadly. But the kid needed CPR after being hit in the chest with a baseball bat. Hopefully, it was at a baseball game. But 7 years later, the same guy, basically, the lady was choking to death in a restaurant, and he was there and actually gave her a Heimlich maneuver and saved her life. So, circle of karma, people.
Love
Circle
that.
of karma. Yeah.
I got goosebumps
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Those kind of stories to me are incredible. And even like a couple of episodes ago, we were talking about karma in the sense of this guy kicked a dog because the dog was near his car and he kind of kicked him, and how the other dogs were like, we're going to destroy your car. And they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. I think that was Animals Causing Havoc. I think that was that
Yes.
video.
Yep.
And then, yeah, you read stories about like animals going after the poachers. And I think we shared another story in there about someone that had attacked like a lion or its mate. And then it got
It's
revenge
very.
on.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's animals are smart, guys. Animals have memories. Goldfish have a lot longer memory than you think. Not that they can take devious revenge on you, but animals are much smarter than I think we give them credit for, and they are much more emotional.
Next time you put your finger in the water to feed me, I shall bite you.
Yeah, have you seen the clip of the so there's a fish tank and there's a cat and he sticks his nose in and you think he's trying to drink the water. So he kind of takes a lick and his nose is in there and then his paw comes up and he's kind of tapping the water. And it's like I think it would be almost an interesting psychological test because it's like, how do you perceive this clip? Is the animal trying to play with the fish? Is the animal drinking water? Is the animal just lining up his next meal? Like, what's your perception of what this scene?
That scene that you just illustrated is like the video we did about pre-attacks. In
Kind of,
this case, you just don't have the full picture of how you have like the kinetic energy before the potential energy before it turns into kinetic, and you really just don't know where that's gonna go.
exactly.
Because if you don't have the background of was the cat has always been interested in water, or was the cat thirsty, or the cat, because my cats used to love to play with water. They just love touching it. They didn't like to
Yep.
submerge themselves in it, but they love touching it.
Yeah.
Now, if they become friends, because I've seen another video of two cats. One of them is trying to play with the fish,
Okay.
and the other one swats him.
That's awesome.
I thought that was the story you were going to talk about.
Oh, no. I still think my favorite catfish video, though, is the one we showed in Cats Mesmerized. Oh, no, I haven't showed it yet. Oh, I can't talk about it. Nope. It's
we have a video coming out called Cats Mesmerized.
Yes. It's all like cats that are like, yes. It'll be fun.
You mean the cats are mesmerized?
Yes, by lots of stuff. I have lots of examples. One of them involves a fish, but we did show the video where the cat was watching the fish under the ice. That one was pretty funny to me. I enjoyed that one a lot. Not as much as the clip that I can't tell you about because we haven't showed it yet. That one's phenomenal. You would have loved it. Well, you'll probably love it eventually in the future. Just so you guys know, if you're not kind of how the show breaks down, I go find the clips that I enjoy. Maria hasn't seen these before. So I kind of plan a few videos ahead, and I'm collecting clips and stuff to put into the folder. So sometimes I think of a clip in my brain that we haven't actually gotten to yet, and I think we already have. And Maria hasn't seen these. So her reactions that you guys see are genuine reactions to seeing most of these for the first time, unless she's seen them somewhere else on the internet before I show them to her. So that's kind of the breakdown, if you didn't know.
The whole point of it.
Yes. Well, we never, I think the first couple episodes we talked about what we were doing and why, but we haven't really talked about it too much since then. They could just think you're an amazing actress that has seen these clips like 50 times, and yet you can still come up with this very genuine, heartfelt response and all. And yeah, maybe that's.
We already talked how bad of actors and actresses we are. Like we already talked about that in one episode.
We did it backstage though, so not everybody got to see that unless they're part of Patreon. It is free over. Yeah, we put that one for free because that was the first backstage show we did, right?
I think we've done a couple of times that we have talked. Yeah, in that one in particular, episode 14. That was a free one, but now we're episode 34, and we've done a ton more.
Yeah, but we did leave that one backstage so the free section is for the community. Everybody could talk about stuff. Patreon, usually it has subscription layers, but you can do free stuff. So the Facebook community posts, we're doing some on Facebook. We're mostly sticking to YouTube and Patreon. We just felt like that was the best place for everybody to interact. But it is free on Patreon, and we put that first episode of Backstage, which just kind of tells you guys how we got into this, a little bit of our background. So that's over there, but enough of that stuff. Back to fun videos. So it's not only the person helping dogs on the CPR end of the scale, but once you get into like military or police, sometimes the only thing around your partner is actually your canine partner. So you've got to train them how to do CPR also, in case you need them to save your life. And he stops here and listens for a breath. How perfect is that? Then back to the CPR. And once he's a little bit bigger and has a little more weight, those compressions will actually matter. But you got to start young.
That is so, and I love the little thing on his.
I don't know why he has a light on top of him. I don't understand that.
Well, he's a whole ambulance team. Like he has the entire thing going on for him.
But it doesn't flash until he's successful. Because if you watch him come in, I don't think the light is on. Oh, it is on. Okay.
It is on. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. That hound is gonna grow big.
Uh-huh. Look at
I was trying to figure it out where the guy is from. Like I was trying to read his shirt, like to see where they did this show.
There's a logo in the corner too, but I can't read the
Policía Municipal Madrid.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. But did you see the dog's tail? All the energy it had too, like wagging its little. Oh, that was awesome.
The whole thing is just too precious. I just love how young he is. Like you can tell that dog is young.
And once they get older, they get it down. Now you got some size to you. Now it matters.
Oh, that's like a hind leg / CPR. I feel pain.
Say like, are you up? Are you up? You're not up. Okay. He's got one paw in the right place and one paw in the stomach.
Yeah, that's like more like a hind leg mixture. Like the poor girl, like she's holding her abdomen tight. He's pretty cute though.
Funny though is if you see the whole video, it's this team and all the things that the dog learns. And look at that, he even brings a blanket over, like to help out, which I just think is amazing.
I love how he backs up. Oh, he's
Uh-huh.
trying to put the blanket
Yeah,
on.
he's trying to put the blanket on her.
How adorable is that?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That is very cute. I
Yeah, I
love that.
love that video. The puppy one was better, but you have to still show off what it looks like at full size.
10,
Oh,
10.
you're giving that one a 10? We started
No, that
rating.
one is not a 10. I think the first one was a 10.
Okay. We started rating videos last episode. We won't continue the entire time, but there are certain situations where a good video rating goes well.
The Madrid police one was adorable.
Yes, that puppy was awesome. Unfortunately, it's not always for fun and games, and it's not always dogs. The first dog actually clearly needed a lot of help. And this is one that I actually didn't think would even be possible. First, everybody watched the video, and then there's different elements to the video outside of just the CPR that I would like some input as to what everybody kind of thinks went on here.
Okay.
Sometimes we only get bits of the clips, so I don't know what really happened right before. So the situations to me are sometimes perplexing, but this is a good example of that. So
Oh, I've seen this.
if you know the background or anybody in the comments, please tell me what, because I would love to know.
That's
I
a very
understand
young elephant.
the baby elephant's stuck, but why is the mom getting CPR? Was there like electricity involved in this situation?
Interesting. I don't know. I mean, we can definitely check ABC News, but look, they had to dig a hole.
But there's still, the mom's still out. So it's like, I have no idea what happened in this situation, but this is like double tragedy.
And they're trying to jumpstart her heart. I mean, any way they can.
Yep.
Wow, look how beautiful. Look how
Yeah.
beautiful. Everybody committed to it. Ah, this is the way life should be.
Yeah.
This is just too beautiful.
Yeah. I don't know how that situation even happened though, because I understand the baby getting stuck or the mom being down, but I don't understand how both happened. The only thing I could think of would be something electrical based that would stop the mom's heart, but the elephant even looks like it's bleeding by its eye.
Oh, good observation. I didn't notice that. Oh,
Yeah.
I just feel pain for him. He's like so scared.
But that's a brick enclosed area. It looks like I see joints and stuff. So it looks like that.
Yeah, and a big tube.
But that's an access shaft of some point that just wasn't topped off, I'm guessing, is why he fell in. But I don't know if the mom was so distraught trying to get the baby elephant out, and that's what caused her condition.
But look at that ranger is not giving up. Like he is doing anything and everything in his power.
Yeah, and I mean, you think trying to get to the heart for compressions on a dog is tough. On elephant, I didn't even think that was possible.
I mean, you see, the guy was a hefty man. Like that,
Yeah.
he put some weight on and tried to really jump it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was, to me, not seeing animal in distress by no means ever, but seeing how people work together to make sure the animals are okay. That's really what warms my heart up. Like that's just, yeah. Bah, it makes me almost tear up just because it's so beautiful.
Like I said, guys, there's CPR videos, and that was the base, like input, like the motivation, inspiration for the video. But again, these are all ultimately going to be kind of human kindness stories or heartwarming stories or
Beautiful.
yes, exactly, things like that. This next one again, I think I have a decent idea of kind of how this situation started, but I would love the input on what people
On this
think.
one as well.
Yeah. Because there's a baby goat, which is free.
But that was weird.
You'll
How
see it
was that?
when he starts working. You'll get an idea of what was going on. So this stick was somehow
Oh.
they escaped somewhere and they broke a piece of wood on their way out. But this
What
one,
happened is many when a goat or an animal misbehaves, they actually put a thing on them so they don't
okay,
escape.
gotcha.
They do that. They do actually that often. And that goat by itself, that one was probably one of those escapee goats.
Okay.
So the others went, oh, yay! Look at it! Like he's doing anything and everything. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. Was probably one of those escapee goats, and they put a rope on them. Like that's actually very normal to see. You can see a little bit before he's removing that from him.
Yeah. But the other guys, I guess, got tangled up in it, and then
They did.
there's a baby goat that's kind of leading the pack, and then clearly he's being choked because he's being drugged by his neck by whatever this rope and
Yeah, like you can see that guy on top. He just stuck.
But
Like
how are
he's
they tangled in the rope also to be even
yeah,
start?
he's that guy is tangled. Like
Oh, his
it was
foot
a
was
little
stuck.
harsh.
Gotcha.
He was a little harsh the way he removed him. I understand. He's also in a hurry.
He's trying to, yeah, exactly. He's trying to get to the animal that's actually.
And everybody else is like concerned, but everybody's tangled. Like all of them got tangled.
Yeah, they all have it looks like a little bit of rope on their neck, but they're all torn or cut or something.
Yeah. So yeah, that
when I started watching this video, I'm like, this doesn't look good because the goat isn't moving or it's just flopping all over the place.
I'm glad they were able to stop. They all those goats, a herd of goats.
And I'm assuming obviously this goat doesn't belong to this guy, so he went out of his way for I mean it's again, human kindness is amazing and
So exciting.
yeah.
To see the goat doing okay. Woof.
Takes him a little while to get his feet, but yeah, he
got it. He got it. Everybody's fine now. Wow. That was stressful to see. Yet beautiful to see how people learn to react. It's like when you're in a dog fight. If you've never been into a dog fight, then you are going to be petrified and it's going to be very scary. But once I'm not saying this is a good thing or not, but once you kind of know what you need to do and you're able to take a breath and then know that if you get your hand in, you're going to lose a finger. So you never do it. But yet you're able to do the wheelbarrow on the dog. And if somebody else can do the same thing for the other dog, then the fight ends really soon. Grab it by the legs and then just move it to the side. Perfect.
Yeah, guys, basically a hack we've talked about before in a previous video. So any like two random dogs fighting on the street. When you first said dog fight, I'm like, okay, why is Maria talking about dog fights? Like I thought like ring dog fights. I'm like, where's she going with this one? So any two dogs kind of randomly fighting on the street, you don't want to put your hands towards their face because that's where the teeth are. Go behind them, grab their back legs and pull them out from under them and pull back. And they can't whip around and bite you. And then they get so distracted by you, they're not focused on the dog in front. It becomes a problem if the other dog is the aggressor and you're pulling the defender more away because the other dog's going to keep trying to come at it.
That's why if you can team it up or just see who the aggressor. Like honestly, the best thing is you need to socialize animals enough so that things like that don't happen. But because dogs work in a hierarchy level, actually most animals, not all of them, but most animals work in a hierarchy level. You have to like try to tone it down so that doesn't become a problem of two alphas fighting. Not, so.
So we'll lighten it up just a little bit before we continue on with the videos, just because they can be a little heavy. We'll give Maria a quiz question for fun here.
Great. After my brain is all scattered, my heart is like.
Yeah. Maybe that'll help you with the answer.
Do it.
Let's see, where was it exactly? So I want to get, so the British Heart Foundation did a study and they found out that there's a particular song that if you do CPR to the rhythm of this song, you will be perfectly on beat as far as ideally with chest compressions, you're trying to do them at a certain rate and most hearts beat at a certain rate. And so they found that if you can do chest compressions to the beat of this song, you actually would be doing perfect, like textbook CPR.
I think is the ha ha ha.
Yeah, you are.
Stay alive. Stay alive.
Okay, smart Alec. There's a second one.
Yes, I know there is a second one. And the
Oh,
funny thing is, every once in a while, I think about that song, and right now I have a complete blank.
okay.
Give me a
Okay.
clue.
Maria got staying alive because she already knew it. But guys, okay, so this will be fun for everybody in the comments. I will not give you the answer. We will let the comments debate it out, and then we will come back to it at some point and give you the answer. But as with most things, like Eminem stole the beat from, not steal, but a lot of artists use beats from old songs. So
Yes.
clearly we're talking about a very specific beat. So the second song is obviously rhythm-wise very close to "Staying Alive"
Ding, 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 ding,
by the Bee Gees. By the Bee Gees. Bee Gees. Bee.
BG,
Um,
BG.
so I will let you guys debate it out in the community posts again, either on YouTube or over in the free section of Patreon, and let's see what
Or
everybody
Facebook.
up with, or Facebook. No Google searching, no cheating. Just try to do it on your own.
I know there is another song. I have it in my head.
It's okay. It's all right. We'll let everybody.
I will survive.
We're gonna let everybody ponder that one, and we will go. Now this one's a little dark, little bit of a dark fact. Interesting though, but dark. Did you know that the face? So do you notice that all CPR mannequins look the same? Like they have the same face?
I guess so.
Okay. They're called basically that's called Rescue Annie. That's what they've named the CPR mannequins. They all basically have the same face. And it did not originate in the United States. So I imagine that Rescue Annie is pretty much international. That's another thing I'd love for you guys. Let me know if your CPR mannequins in whatever country you're in look like the CPR mannequins you would see on like a TV show from the United States, because that's what ours all look like.
Because what I think about when you first said mannequin, I was thinking of the ones they use for accidents.
Oh no, not the crash test dummies. They don't have any facial features, but there's an actual like face on the half body CPR mannequins. A lot of times they have like a face. They're not just like blank.
Because the ones I've seen look like a guy, like a torso of a guy.
Well, the original one that was created actually did have a face, and Rescue Annie, a little morbidly, was actually a woman who was fished out of the Seine River in France in the 1880s. And the mortician thought that she was so beautiful, he took a plaster cast of her face while she was laying on the mortician's table.
No.
And that, but again, guys, death masks were actually relatively common. This isn't like a weird, creepy thing to do. Death masks were a normal thing. You couldn't take a photo of the deceased to then show them just a relative to identify the body. So death masks aren't like, that wasn't a creepy thing.
No, you're right.
And then that death mask actually got put on, let's see. So that was the 1880s. And the first Rescue Annie wasn't created until the 1958. So wow. I don't know if 70 plus years later, that death mask then got used for the face of all of the CPR mannequins that were created at that time. But
maybe she was one of those faces that are so symmetrical.
Maybe.
Because symmetry is it's a sign of beauty. Usually, the more symmetrical you are, usually,
yes,
the more attractive you are to others.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've seen some very symmetrical people that I'm like, yeah, your lips don't match. I mean, even though the lips are symmetrical, everything is symmetrical. It's like they grab one of those books and they just randomly put a mouth.
Gotcha.
And it's like, you're symmetrical, but you're not attractive.
Like Mr. Potato Headed it. Like, I want the puffy lips. Oh, I want the squiggly eyes. Oh, I want the cowboy hat. Boom, you're a person now.
Yes, basically.
Okay. And I know that you would need like a plaster mask to make a rubber mold, so that makes sense that they would need a plaster face mask to make the rubber mold to put on the mannequins. But I found that kind of interesting.
It is fascinating.
Yes. Okay. But back to our fun video clip. So it's not we've seen that dogs are kind of the common one. I think a lot of people think of for CPR. Cats are tough to do CPR on because they're so small. We've seen an elephant, which is bigger than I thought you could even do CPR on an animal. Now we're going to go to the other side of the spectrum and see what CPR.
Worms.
Yes.
Fish.
Would you like to give worm CPR? Okay. We're gonna do all right. Another quiz time for everybody, just because it's fun. What's the smallest animal you think you could actually do CPR on and have it be at least in some way effective? Clearly, worms don't have a heart and skeletal system the way we do. You couldn't do CPR on a fish though. They have cartilage bones.
No,
Well,
but you literally, we talked about this in a video.
Okay.
You go back and forth in the water, make sure the gills restart, back and forth.
Oh, okay. So I'm thinking like the compression factor of it. So Maria, I forgot what the video was, but yeah, we were talking about if you ever find a shark or anything on the sand on the beach, be careful because if sand clogs up their gills and such, they can't breathe. So they clearly they need to pass water through the gills to breathe. So if you're dragging them to the water or rolling them, make sure you're not building up sand within their gills.
Yes.
Then you're actually suffocating them further, even though your intention is to help. Just so you
Yes.
know that. But okay, I'll rephrase it then. Compression wise, what do you think is kind of the smallest animal you could do CPR
I would say a hamster would probably be one of the smaller critters you'll do.
Okay.
You almost have to use your tiny little finger, but then you
I'm-
have to know their heart rate. So you can start singing, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive,
No,
stay alive.
human heart rate though. It's a little different.
That's why it's accelerated the song. Because they're smaller animals have faster heart rate. Not
So
all
guys-
of them, but
Before you give any animal CPR, you need to go find the album Staying Alive, and then you need to go change the speed of the album so then you can rhythm out your compressions properly. Then you start CPR. That's how that goes, just so you know.
sounds very practical.
You're welcome, Bee Gees. I just sold you another 1,000,000 records. You can just send me a royalty check. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Yeah, because with cats and with kittens and puppies, they tell you to just use 2 fingers. If it's a small animal, you're supposed to just use 2 fingers.
Same thing with babies, like with children.
Mhm.
With babies, you use
With baby children, yeah.
baby children. Yeah,
Sure.
because baby animals. A
Yes,
bunny.
sure. A bunny. Okay, baby children, animal, bunnies. So we'll go back to last episode where if you had to have a puppy that looked like a baby or a baby that looked like a puppy, which one would you pick? Are we hearkening back to that one? No?
No, that was awful. No.
You didn't like that one at all. Maria did not like her last hypothetical question. She didn't.
No. It was really bizarre.
It was part of the fun. It was a little out there one, but okay, here, we'll have another fun one for you then. Would you rather have, as a pet, a baby unicorn or a baby dragon?
Oh.
Dragons and unicorns.
Now, are they the kind of unicorn that has wings like a Pegasus unicorn?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's the fun of these hypothetical questions. We get to work out the caveats.
Because I want one that flies.
Okay. But that's, yeah, but then the dragon's
Because
going to
the
lose.
water dragons also.
Because they both fly, so then the dragon doesn't have the I fly advantage. So I'm going to say no. It's got to be a unicorn.
Then,
Not
of course, the dragon.
like a magical unicorn.
But the dragon has to fly.
Yes.
Perfect. Then we go with dragon.
So your whole choice basis is just based off flying. You're like, if I can get the smaller unicorn to have some wings, I'm in. If not, I'm dragoning it. Okay. All right.
Yep. Hey, you have to have some basis for the hypothetical, something that you really value, and then go with it.
The whole fun of the hypotheticals too is to kind of work out the nuances. That's why you ask weird questions. And my take on the baby dog baby was totally different than your take on the question. So that's part of the fun. It's part of the fun. But this Good Samaritan came across a tiny squirrel and had the challenge of trying to do CPR for the tiny squirrel.
I think that one in particular, there was one where they got electrocuted.
This one seems like it's by water, so I think it probably jumped
Yes.
out.
Yeah, there is water. You're right.
Interesting. He's using his hand to cup over. But this
Because
guy's
you have to go through the nose. You have to go through the nose.
Oh, he's up. He's up, guys. He's up. He didn't make it.
Oh, yay. Oops, got startled.
Dog, run away from dog.
Can you imagine that the dog is like chump?
Survives a drowning and then gets bit by a dog. Yeah, that would be a bad day.
I was actually reading a horrible article. I only read like the quick review of it when they were talking about this kid got into a car accident
Look at
and
that.
was
Sorry. Go ahead.
the kid was in a car accident and got paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Learned to walk again and got hit by a car. I was like, oh,
Not as
ow.
bad, but I equally ironically as funny as like a girl that like breaks her nose and then like takes the time to get it fixed and then like breaks her nose again. Like yeah,
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 that story sounds familiar.
kind of yeah. It falls in line with a little bit something like that where if then like and then the girl's like, well, I broke my nose, I don't really care, and then somebody finally talks her into fixing her nose, and then she finally is like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll just get it fixed, and then I don't know, say what do you want to say? Maybe a year or two later, breaks the nose again. What? How did? Yeah.
Story sounds really familiar. Yes, people, that did happen to me. I did that. I was the wild child with a broken nose. Oh, broke it again.
Good thing Colombia is known for plastic surgery and good with nose jobs.
No, the problem is after that I was like, we're leaving it. Like it's gonna stay broken. That's okay.
Yes. Maria likes to keep her little imperfections, like her accent a couple times when she was doing her previous channel. She's like, no, I like my accent, I'm keeping it. She's like, I probably could say that more clearly, but I like my accent, I'm keeping it. So.
And I went to the dentist and they're like, oh, we need to fix one of your teeth. And they're like, I'm like, no, we're keeping them.
Right.
Why do I want straight teeth? No, unless I had a chomper right here and another chomper right there and a crack in the middle, missing teeth, then we have a different story. But otherwise, that's character.
I think Maria's part British.
Yes, I actually am. That's the funny thing.
Okay, then. So sometimes
maybe that's why I like drinking tea so much.
There you go. And Maria had mentioned this a little earlier before. A lot of times when we're thinking CPR, we're thinking compressions and heart and stuff, but Heimlich maneuvers and choking and stuff kind of equally falls in there. And when you're dealing with dogs and babies, even humans, they tell you when you do CPR classes, you kind of hook your finger to try to drag out what's in there if you can get it out of the throat. But this guy came across the dog that unfortunately was in that same bad situation where it's not a CPR thing. It's trying to get the dog's throat clear. And this is a big part of the reason too. They tell you don't feed your dogs chicken bones and stuff like that. Things like that can get caught in their throat, and they're really sharp. If chicken bones break, can cause a lot of damage.
And the problem is many times if you stick your hand, it's actually worse. Like they actually tell you don't stick your hand. I was just, yay.
He's doing all right. Still looks a little out of it, but
yeah,
he's all right.
I was talking to a friend of mine actually a couple of days ago, who volunteers for a couple of rescues, and she was telling me that their neighbor brought their dog. They tried to stick their hand in because something got lodged in. The problem is it got lodged in even further.
Yeah.
If you can.
With humans, you're only supposed to do it after you dislodge it if it's just in the mouth cavity and hook it out.
Yes.
What they don't want is you to stick your finger in and then hook, because then you could drive it further in. You're supposed to enter with the hook and like enter from the side with the hook and then pull back is the way you're supposed to rig it. So I would say with animals, it's probably, I mean, the unfortunate part is you can startle them and they can bite down on your finger, but that's probably the least of your worries at that point in time. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Just like, but she was telling me about that and how they had to do the CPR, and usually some of the best ways to dislodge is use gravity to your benefit. So putting the dog more like this is the head, literally tilting them down, and then almost like
a baby. Like this, the same strategy they tell you with the baby. You're supposed to put their feet up by your arm and their head down by your wrist, tilt your arm down and pat and tag their back so you can use gravity. And it's hard with dogs because all their anatomies are so different. So I actually don't know the proper technique to do a Heimlich on a dog. You have to get under the rib cage and up. So that gravity technique actually probably might be the best even for a dog.
And even to help if they're having a heart issue, you literally grab them and almost like, this is the head again, down. Like if they're having a heart issue, almost
Got
like to restart the heart.
Yeah. Again, guys, we're not experts on the some of this stuff, unfortunately, and I don't encourage anybody to learn stuff like this from comments on the internet.
Yeah,
But I'm assuming we've got a decent amount of vets and vet techs and stuff that watch the show. If you guys have some suggestions, or if you could give somebody maybe your top three kind of life-saving tips for animals, whether it be CPR or Heimlich, or like, oh, if people only knew this, this is the problem that I see when animals come in after someone tried to do CPR. Or I'm sure you guys kind of have like, if I can convey three tips to people in general, we would love to hear those, guys. Please, please, please write those in the comments.
definitely, definitely.
And anybody that reads them, we're not screening any of this or anybody's credentials or certification. So take it with a grain of salt. If you know better or have heard better, then follow that. But
And always talk to your vet. I mean, literally, the best source of knowledge is a veterinarian.
mhm,
Any questions you have about behavior, they can they can send you or refer you to people who do behavior training. Like if you have an over aggressive animal, you don't want to be the alpha because honestly, that's not going to help your animal. You need to see what the cause of
yeah,
aggression or overreaction. It could be their death, it could be they're stressed out at night, they're not sleeping well, and therefore their bodies are just overtired, so they overreact. I mean, there are many reasons why it's better to talk to a veterinarian who can refer you to someone who knows than us trying to assume. So,
yeah. And again, I mean, it works with people and animals, but sometimes knowing the how is a lot more important than knowing the why. Yes, you can learn strategies on how to train your dog and what to do, but maybe trying to figure out why they're reacting the way they're reacting before you implement whatever training it is you think you need to do to get them to stop. I mean, are they clawing the furniture because they're nervous, or is it just an animal thing? Yeah, that's a cat thing, but there might be something else there also.
good
So
point.
see
Hmm.
if there's a way that you can maybe try to get a little bit to the bottom of the why before you implement the how to fix the behavior. Might not be a bad idea either.
Yeah, and with Pepita, when she got adopted, you can almost clearly see that in order to make her stop doing something, they will shake a bottle or hit a plate. Like she was
Hmm.
deadly afraid of plates clanging. Like even
Okay.
if her necklace will, hit the plate, like her
Hmm.
bowl, she will get really scared. So
Yeah.
you knew that she was conditioned to be afraid of those loud noises. And for the longest time, she will overreact to it. She will stop eating immediately if her little ID hit a plate. Now
Mm.
she's okay because we worked through that. But it was good to know. It was good to observe because you just don't know where the animal came from and what
Yeah.
situations they were living in. So it's very important, and we owe it to them to appreciate and learn to see what's going on. And then, if you need help, then at least having all that data to give to the experts, because then they can explain to you, oh, maybe the dog was trained to do this and that, or maybe they
Yeah.
scared them. Like they used to say, shake a like rattle coins in a bottle to
Yeah.
train cats or
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
And something else I read that goes a little bit along those lines is we were talking about name tags and stuff. I read something earlier today, and I just thought it was a good suggestion. If you have a name tag for your cat, write the cat's name, but in parentheses, write indoor cat. So if anybody finds the cat out in the world, they know that it's not supposed to be out there because
Ooh,
they're kind of 50-50. So people might see a cat and just assume, oh, it's just an outdoor cat. And then they start seeing it frequently, or maybe it's asking for food, or they just think that it's out and about roaming the neighborhood. So that's actually another good strategy, guys, to
a
put that on,
great.
yeah, the tag itself.
That is
Um,
a great. That's actually a very good advice. And in some countries, if a cat stays outdoors, they by law they have to have three bells, at least three bells.
Interesting.
Because what they've noticed, like in Australia, New Zealand, many animals, like 33 species of birds and animals, have gone extinct due to cats around the globe,
Hmm.
and those are the ones we know of.
Yeah.
So they are saying we need to make sure the animals know that there is a cat around. So
Yeah.
they're having people put three bells, not belts, three
Yeah.
bells.
Essentially, and we don't ever think about this because they're our pets, but most places that you bring cats and dogs, they're an invasive species.
They are.
They're not. That's not where they originally were from. Those animals didn't exist. I mean, it got brought to the United States really, really late to hunt mice and stuff after the British came over. So cats weren't like small domestic cats weren't even in the United States in the 1700s. Or
Hmm.
that's about when they got brought. So yeah, we don't think about these things because we think of them as our pets, but they're still hunters. They're still animals. They're still a food chain, especially if they're outdoor animals. So yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, it was very hard because every once in a while my cats will bring a rodent,
Hmm.
usually a chipmunk, or a tiny bunny. And I actually had, and this didn't happen often. Then I will actually have antibiotics for them because the problem is a cat bite is very, very dangerous. It's full of bacteria. I'm not saying any other animal is cleaner, but cats are known for causing a huge problem on humans as well as animals.
Hmm.
So I will try to grab the bunny, do my best to clean it. And of course, the animal is so scared, is not running away from me. And
Yeah.
you have a good grip, like you hold the little head between your fingers, so they cannot move forward, but you're not choking it, of course. And then just clean the wound and add antibiotics to it. Like I always had some ointment or powder
Hmm.
antibiotic to just give it to the poor animal, and
Yeah.
then like pray, like I hope you survive,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Good luck, guy. Good luck. I did what I can. That's this. It's not a necessary of a vet visit. So you do what you can, and then
Yeah, but
uh,
cats should be indoor. They should be indoors.
and we've seen this clip before, guys. But this is the video it was originally supposed to be in. So I can't get away from doing a CPR video with animals without showing our ever so classic, seen it in the past, reverse water CPR dog. He's trying to help. He's trying to save his human. He did not get the same lessons as the first two dogs in how to properly do CPR.
That is so adorable. That is really adorable. I feel bad because the guy's like, I think this dog is gonna kill me. Like I'm gonna drown here.
It's like I'm trying to help. Wake up, man. Wake up. Wake up. I'm trying to
And the
help.
guy's like covering his head. It's so cute. I'm glad you're showing it again.
Oh man, I don't know why I just get such a kick out of that clip.
Yes, you do get a kick out of that one.
It's the intention of the dog who's really trying to help, but it just looks like he's trying to murder the guy. It's like because the guy tries to pick his head up a little bit, and then the dog pushes more, and you're just like, "Oh, good, he's moving. Cool, yeah, get up." And it's like, "No, you're pushing
Okay.
underwater."
Why did you die? Well, my dog kind of
Yeah,
did
yeah.
me
Explain,
in.
explain that one when you get to where you're going afterwards.
No.
It was adorable. Like I had a friend filming the video because I thought it would be funny, and apparently I let it go too far, and that's how I ended up here. Sorry.
That's pretty bad.
Oh man. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, all the conversations that we start, all the hypothetical questions, all the stuff we want information on that we don't already know, all those conversations are in the community posts, which you can find on the community tab on YouTube. Over on Patreon, again, it's free. There's a free section of Patreon. You don't have to sign up or pay anything. And over on Facebook, so wherever you like to consume your content. Give us that subscribe on YouTube so it helps support the channel so it gets out there more and we can build the community. Like and follow on whatever your podcasts are. Did I get them all, Maria? What else we got? Got some more
I
stuff
think
for
you got them all. I was waiting for you to say podcast, but you got it.
Okay, all right, we got podcast and oh guys, check out the facts videos. We're having so much fun doing these. I'm so happy that some people like suggested that we do them. We get a few facts thrown into these, but most of the time it's fun videos and conversations. People were asking, they wanted to know more about elephants specifically, know more about dogs. So Maria and I started doing a animal fact series, and it's literally just dog facts wild chats. You could search it on YouTube or find it on the channel, and you'll get to learn a lot of like interesting factual stuff. We don't flap the jaws, Maria would like to say, as much. We do towards the end. A lot of it's pretty informational, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. We don't do the how fast can a cat run and how high can a cat jump. We try to add in like the obscure fun stuff that we enjoy. And again, you guys
So
have
what
any
was
comments?
the song? What was the song?
Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you. We want
Oh.
to get the conversation going below. It's got the same rhythm and beat as Staying Alive, but it's not Staying Alive.
Beat it, beat it. Beat
Really?
it.
You think Michael Jackson ripped off a Bee Gees beat? Oh, that's
No,
horrible.
but the beat.
Oh, you're just making a whole rhythm beat
I'm
joke.
going
Okay.
tempo because
Every
what
time
you
you end up
want is the
sounding
tempo.
okay. I was thinking of Weird Al Yankovic. It was the first thing that pops into my mind every time I hear "Eat It, Just Eat It." That's my first Weird Al song. Guys, these are the types of conversations we do on the backstage. So since we are off animals, let's jump to the backstage show. All the Patreon subscribers, meet us over there, and we'll pick it up in a second.